All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us for Tuesday night team call. I have two very special guests with me tonight. I have Lydia and Ben Diaz. Hi, how are you guys doing today?
We're good. Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. My team is a huge fan.
Thank y'all. That's awesome.
We love watching your videos. So they enjoy your videos so much that I just wanted to open the call to you guys so you can tell us a little bit about your story, your struggles, and just anything that, every distributor goes through that I think normal distributors don't realize that, presidentials and ambassadors, also go through little struggles. So I know that that you guys are overcoming those like, many of us are. So if you guys just want to share your story, anything that comes to your heart, please feel free to do so. The floor is yours.
Yeah. So we'll start at the start of it, I suppose. We joined in August of 2012. I should say I joined in August 2012. And I was just really looking for a way to bring in some extra income. But I didn't even know that the wrap would do that for us. I saw my friend posting about the wrap on Facebook, and I watched her page for about 2 weeks before I called her. And I was like, okay, tell me about this thing you keep posting about. And I think right there that's important to take note of, the fact that this is someone I trusted. Like, we had known each other for years. We worked together. She was my makeup artist for many years. And so, I mean, we were very, very close. It took me 2 weeks to even work up the courage to call her and ask her about this crazy rap thing. So if you have people that might not call you right off the bat, just give them some time. So I called her up, and I asked her about the wraps. And at that time, we were in such a tight financial spot that even $25 to buy a wrap wasn't happening for us because we were just that broke. So she knew that, and so she presented me with the option to become a distributor. She wasn't shy about it, I would say, but she wasn't like, hey, come join my team either. She was just telling me about the fact that she had already made $200 in her first month as a distributor, just wrap cash. And so I wasn't able to sign up right then because I didn't have that $99. But when I got off the phone with her, over the next few days, what just ate away at my mind day and night was that $200. That is all I could think about because I knew that $200 at that time could change our life as a family. It could pay our water bill. It could pay possibly our phone bill too. So I knew that as a single income family, that extra $200 a month could really impact us, and I wanted to get on board. I called my mom, and I asked her if I could borrow the money from her, and she let me have it, and I just took off with it at that point. At the time, Ben was working about 60 hours a week, and he was in school part-time, so I never saw him. Our kids never saw him. And when I first started with It Works, I never thought this would give us the freedom of time that people were talking about. I just knew that it might be able to ease up a little bit of his time. Maybe he could work 55 hours a week if I was making a couple $100.
Yeah, and, it's one of the things that we always tell everybody is that if we can be successful in this business, anybody can. We don't have any kind of special qualifications. There's nothing different about us than there is about anybody else in terms of we've never done network marketing before. We've never done, we don't have any kind of marketing degree or sales experience or anything like that. So all we've done is stick to the plan, and the plan is what corporate gives us, and that's the steps to success. And when Lydia started working, she was on her own. I wasn't available to help, and even if I was, I wasn't very willing. But she just went after those steps to success, and she did what she had to do to get them done, even on a limited budget. And she made it her mission to get those steps to success done every single month. And like she said, when she started, we just wanted a couple $100 a month. We would have been just over the moon excited if we'd have been able to get to $500 a month. The $10,000 good bonus was on the table for us. It was offered, it was available when we signed up if we were to reach the diamond level within our first 3 full calendar months. But to be completely honest, it never even crossed our minds. Like, we didn't dare dream of that. But after a few weeks, of working the business and doing the steps to success, it started looking like more and more of a realistic possibility. And sure enough, within less than 90 days, she had reached the diamond level. And it was just an answer to prayer, because we had prayed for a long, long time for a way for God to provide a way for me to work less hours, so that I could go to school more and that I could be home more with our 2 young girls. And, it's funny because that's clearly what this was for us. And our business just grew so fast and, beyond our wildest dreams. But it took us several months until our eyes were open to the fact that, hey, this is what you've been praying for all the time. This is the door that God has opened for you, and you haven't fully committed to it. You haven't fully walked through that door. And so for me, it was convicting once I kind of had that revelation, because I wasn't very supportive in the beginning. I wasn't negative per se, but my attitude was just kind of don't bother me with what you have going on, because I have too much of my own stuff to deal with. And, eventually I started to realize that, within less than 3 months, she was bringing home more money than I was. And I was working all those hours, and so I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to start to try and help out behind the scenes. And so this is, several of the things that I like to tell the guys that are a part of this business, or who have a spouse that are really active in this business is, you don't have to go out there and be all crazy and blitz everybody you know and rap everybody you know. You'll get there. That'll happen. But for me, I started out behind the scenes, and it was just a matter of helping out around the house, taking the girls away for an afternoon so that she could work the business, doing the dishes, cleaning up, after the girls had gone to bed, things like that, to just free up her time. And I started to look at that as a paying job, because the more free time that Lydia had, the more money she was making, and the more she was growing her team. And that had a much more lasting effect than me staying at work for a couple of extra hours and, maybe making a couple of extra bucks. But now this income that we were making was residual income. And I gradually kind of evolved, and as I started to have that revelation of that this was truly God's answer to our prayers, I became more active in the business and worked it more on my own. I was willing to bring it up to people just in random conversation and stuff, even when Lydia was nowhere to be found. So it's one of those things, at least for me, and I think for a lot of guys, it's a process. But one thing that kind of hit me too was my priorities. I had to come to the realization that I had to push my pride away and focus more on what was best for my family. Because if what I said is true, if I really do want to spend more time with my kids and my wife, if I really do want to work less hours so that I can go to school more, then I'm going to need to get out of my comfort zone and go ask somebody if they've tried this crazy rap thing. But if my pride is more important than those other priorities that I just mentioned, then I won't do it. And so it was that realization that, okay, I've said what my priorities are, but my actions aren't lining up with that.
Yeah, it was a moment for us of just, I think it was just honesty, just really realizing that this could be more than we ever imagined it could be. It could retire him. It could pay for our children's college fund. It could pay for him to go to school as well. And when that clicked for us, when we realized that it was more than just a paycheck for today, it was a legacy. It was legacy money. That's what we call it, actually, is legacy money. We were building legacy money, and when we realized that, that's when our business really changed. That's when we just shot through the ranks, and we started attracting people who were ready to go. And all of that is great. All of that is wonderful, but I'm sure there are people on this call right now that are thinking to themselves, well, that's not me. I'm not building a strong team, or my paycheck isn't where I want it to be, and et cetera. I just want to say to you guys, I've been there, and most leaders have been there, where we hit a drought, where we hit a patch where maybe we're not bringing on other strong team members. We're bringing on people who have nothing but excuses. Or, my favorite one, they sign up and then they don't even pick up your phone calls after that sign-up date. They came in all hot and ready to go, right, telling you that they're going to change your business and they're going to be amazing at this and they have so many connections. And then a week or two in, it's either they're full of excuses or you can't find them. And I just want you guys to know that has happened to every single leader you know, from Cammie and Major on down through your upline to me and Ben and on and on and on. For a long time, it paralyzed me. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. It made me feel so inadequate when I would sign somebody. I would work on somebody for weeks, and they would finally sign up, and then they would just flop. I turned inward, and I said, I must not be a good leader. I must not be a strong example of success, and I must be letting this person down enough that they're letting themselves down. And it wasn't until probably October of 2013 that I finally had someone tell me they said each person is responsible for their own success. When I finally realized that, it was like a weight lifted off of me. All that I can do as a sponsor is enroll people who say they want it, okay? All I can do is help lead them in any way that I can by plugging them into calls and team meetings and our team pages. But you can't make people want it as much as you. You can't make them see what you see. You can't make them have the passion that you have. And the truth is, many people are not going to match your passion. Many people are not going to see what you see. But the beauty of it is, one day, you're going to meet somebody who sees beyond what you see. You're going to meet somebody who just understands how this all works even better than you do. Someone that's going to change your business like you wouldn't even understand. But if you get so caught up in the slackers, you'll never meet that person because you'll be so focusing on what you don't have, and you'll be so focusing your energy on just pouring it into these people that are like 1 foot out the door that you're never going to recruit that person who could really change your business. When I finally realized that, it's like my business shifted because for so long I kept attracting the same kind of people. The people who were just going to feed me excuses and just tell me that they couldn't do it or not pick up my phone calls. And yes, I still get those people. That's normal. But recently, it's been a lot of, I've found myself bringing on people who I'm not as, it's going to sound kind of bad, but personally invested in their success as I am in just walking with them in the journey. I feel like I don't get so wrapped up in their success that it makes me sad when they don't skyrocket to diamond in 2 months, right? I'm more interested in walking with them in the journey because I might be with them for a couple of months in their life. I might be by their side for years. The point is I have to value the relationship right here and now. I have to value my role in their life and their role in mine right now. And so when it's time for them to go or time for them to get to the next level, we do it. Like we move forward. But if I get too wrapped up in, I want to make them a success. I want to make sure they're making X amount of money. I want to ensure that X, Y, Z, it becomes unhealthy. So if you're in that same situation, free yourself of that weight. All you can do is build your business. And you must focus on that. Build your business. Recruit 3 people each month. Sign your LCs each month. Keep working your business. And of course, as you sponsor people, guide them, plug them in, help lead them. But if someone's showing you that they don't want it, that's okay. Something that I've learned, and I tell myself all the time, and I tell my team this all the time, a lot of people need this, but not everybody wants it. People are going to come in and tell you a whole lot of stuff, and oh yes, like I have a great need, and my family could really use this income, and it would really change our lives, and I'm going to do this with my business, or I'm going to do that. They need it. right? They need this business, but they don't want it because they're not willing to work as hard as you're working. Match your passion, match your energy, and maybe even exceed it. That's wanting it, okay? So don't be let down when people don't want it maybe as bad as you do. Right now, we're in this season of momentum. We're in this season of explosive growth. We know what this company is going to do in the next 11 months, right? We have to just focus our energy on building our business, building our team as strong as we can. And if there are people who need to be pruned from your business, self-pruning, let them go. It's okay to let them go. Devote your resources, your energy, your training to those who are in the trenches with you. Maybe they're not signing a bunch of people every week. Maybe they're not rock stars, quote unquote, but they're there and they're committed. That's a rock star. That's somebody who sees this for what it is. That's someone that caught the vision and isn't giving up. That's someone who deserves your attention and your energy. And even if that's only one person in your whole organization, give them more of your time than you give your time to the people that are ready to quit.
Yeah, and just to follow up on that same note, to be successful with this company, you have to be persistent and you have to be consistent. If you've been with this company for long enough, you've probably heard it said that the only way that you're going to fail is if you quit. And you heard Lydia talk about the consistency of her friend, the person that enrolled her for 2 weeks. She posted every day those before and after pictures. Well, I mean, it goes way further than that. I mean, to this day, we've been in this business for a year and a half now, and we still have people that will contact us that have been our Facebook friends for the entire time, and they say, okay, I'm ready. Let's do this now. Well, maybe a year ago, they weren't in a place where they needed this business. Maybe something's changed and now they are. But if you're not consistent with your activity, with your promotion of your business, you know, they're not gonna seek you out. They'll find somebody else who is actively working the business, who is actively posting regularly. So be consistent and don't get discouraged if you post regularly for a month and you don't hear anything from anybody. I mean, we have months where we don't complete our steps to success. We have months where it feels like we're never going to sign another distributor as long as we live, no matter what we do. And then, you know, without fail, the next month we'll go sign a whole bunch. And it just, you know, sometimes it comes in waves, but it's a matter of just be consistent and be persistent too, because like Lydia said, we catch ourselves getting so discouraged when we personally invest ourselves in the lives of these people and their stories, and you hear about, you know, you sign somebody up and they have all this promise and they have all this motivation and they tell you how much financial strife they're currently in and how their marriage is going to fall apart and this business could potentially save their marriage. And you sign them up and you're so excited for them and you want to be a part of that change in their life, and then they don't work the business. And it's frustrating from this perspective to see that, to know that they're walking away from such a golden opportunity, such a blessing that they're just walking away from. But we can't let that make us walk away from the business. I mean, we've had those distributors that'll come in hot and they'll sign up 2 or 3 distributors in their first in their first month, and then within another couple of months, those 2 or 3 distributors have turned off their autoships, and the first distributor, they quit too. They say, well, it's just not working. Everybody turned off their autoship. Well, it's one of those things that if you're consistent and if you're persistent, it's going to happen. If you're in this business long enough, there's going to be people below you that won't see the vision, that won't get it. They'll turn off their autoships, and that's where your persistence comes into play. You just have to go back out and find another one, and that's why we do the steps to success every month. Otherwise, we just do them 1 month and we'd stop.
That's really important, because I feel like over the summer/fall, I had quite a few people quit on me, and that's not something I love to admit, but I have no secrets, so here it is. I had quite a few people quit on me, people who I had invested so much of myself into and resources and help in every possible way that you could. I had one whole leg just completely shut off, and I mean, it was a large leg. And for me, that was a really big blow, and it really made me feel so upset. But what I came to a crossroads where I said to myself, either I'm going to just say, I need to take some time off and just like let myself relax, or I'm going to push harder. And at that time, everything within me wanted to just say, I need some time off. Let me take a few months off from this. But then there was a little tiny voice inside of me that said, no, push harder. That little tiny voice was my why, that I had already thought I fulfilled and all the rest of it, but it kept on propelling me forward. And so over the next few months, from summer until, gosh, just in January when things started to pick back up for me, I just kept on plugging away. And I was signing people, and some of them were duds and some of them were great. But no matter what, I was just going to keep signing because I knew that I was in a season of sowing. I know that there are seasons in this whole cycle of it works, right? And if I'm not aware of those seasons, I'm going to just get swept away. So I knew at that moment I was in a seed sowing time, that I need to be sowing seeds every single day. And we talk about blitz, wrap, repeat, right? That's seed sowing. When you blitz and you wrap people, you are sowing seeds. Those seeds might not become fruit tomorrow. You might wrap someone today and they might sign in 6 months, or you might wrap them today and they sign tonight, right? But the point is, unless you put that wrap on someone or blitz them, you're not going to have that seed sown. So for me, from the summer until January, that was my seed sowing time. I wasn't seeing much fruit, to be honest with you, but I believe in this enough to know that I have to keep going. Then January hit. All of a sudden, this massive harvest came in. Just blew my mind. We sat here when our paychecks came up or whatever a few days ago, and I was like, oh my goodness, the seed sowing has finally paid off. You have to do that. If right now you're in a time when no one's signing, you're in a seed sowing phase. You're in a seed sowing season. Keep sowing the seed. I cannot say that enough. Don't stop. Even if you're sowing for 6 months to a year, do you know how much more fruit you're going to have than the person who only sowed for a month? It's insane. The amount of people who come out of the woodworks after tax season and they come in because they want to lose weight and all these various things, right now is the sweet spot. We are really about to feel it. I'm already feeling it, but in the next few weeks, you're going to feel it too. As those income tax returns come up, just be prepared. Keep sowing your seeds and don't stop sowing them. I think that's really important. Anything else?
I think that's it.
All right. And, wow, you know, you're completely right. You know, we all hit those times. And we've seen them. When we were at Dash, Mark showed us the graphs. You know, our commissions are doing the same thing that the business in network marketing, not only it works, it's network marketing period, does for those seasons. It just goes down, and that's the time, you know, for us to go out there and plant those seeds. And you're completely right. And, you know, and I always tell people, if you survive that, then you're set, because all you have to do is feel it once, because you now know how to work.
That's right.
So if you ever feel down, just keep on posting, keep on wrapping people, keep on blitzing, and that's all it takes. That's all it takes. Thank you so much, Ben and Lydia, for being part of my call. I know that you have touched many of us with what you had to say, and, you know, it's really, you know, such a great honor to have you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I just want to say one last thing before we go, and I don't know why I'm just throwing it in now, but if there are people on this call who just feel like they can't share, maybe they feel like they don't have enough success yet, or they don't have enough of a story to even be interesting to somebody, I just want to encourage you to invite people along on your journey. I know that for me, my sponsor, she had only been in for 1 month before I joined. She didn't have a rank. She didn't have a humongous paycheck. She didn't have really anything more than the results that she had had from doing a couple wraps, which she shared with me, which really got me hooked actually. And the thing that she said was, I made $200 in my first month in wrap cash, okay? I think that it's so, so important that we don't neglect or overlook those who would be greatly impacted by $200 to $300 a month because we're trying to catch the person who wants that $10,000, right? Keep in mind that if you've been in this company for any amount of time and you've had some wrap sales, if you've made $200 with It Works, go tell somebody about it. I'm going to challenge you guys with that right now. If you're brave enough, get on Facebook and share with somebody, I can't believe I made $200 in wrap cash at a party, or whatever it was. I think that $200 would blow your mind how many people's families right now would be changed, because our family was so changed. On my first commission check, I remember it was $47. My first check was $47. But in wrap cash, that first month, I believe I made over $1,000 in wrap cash. So if you remember, $200 would have blown me away at that point. $1,000 left us in tears. You never know who's on your Facebook page struggling. You never know who's in your phone struggling. You just don't know because people hide it so well. In the Facebook reality, it's like you just make a show sometimes just to make everything look good. There are people on your friends list who are suffering, who $200, $300 would blow them away. So I challenge you, if you've made $200 with It Works, just tell somebody about it. It might change their life. And that's it.
Thank you so much. And like I said, you're right. You know, a lot of people don't realize what difference wrap cash makes.
Yes.
They always think about just the commission, and they don't realize that, you know, hey, the wrap cash is just as good and even greater sometimes. So
yes, it's cash.
Yeah, it's so true. So thank you guys for being on the call. We'll definitely do this again. And you know, if you guys don't follow Lydia and Ben yet, you guys need to, because their daily posts are just so motivational, and sometimes it's just what you need to hear. So thank you so much for everything you guys do, and you know, I just want your blessings to keep on coming.
Thank you so much for having us, and we're just really honored. So thank you.
You're welcome. You guys have a great night. Thank you guys for being part of the call.
You too.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.